There's something most people misunderstand about clean homes. They think it's about discipline, or personality, or just good habits. But psychology tells a different story, because if you look closely, the people who always keep their space clean don't just live differently, they think differently. Even when life gets chaotic, even when emotions are heavy, even when nothing is going right, their environment still looks controlled. And that raises a strange question. Why does the mind care so much about physical order? Because for many people, a clean space is not a lifestyle choice. It's a psychological coping system, the silent way the brain tries to stabilize itself. And today, we're going to break down what that really means. Not just cleaning habits, but the hidden psychology behind control, identity, anxiety, and emotional regulation. And by the end of this video, you might realize something uncomfortable. Your room is not just your space. It might be your mind, made visible. But here's the first uncomfortable truth. Most people don't clean because they want order. They clean because disorder feels wrong. And that difference changes everything. Your brain is constantly scanning your environment, not just for danger, but for efficiency. And clutter creates what psychologists call cognitive load. Every object in your space is a small signal your brain has to process. So when a room is messy, your mind is not relaxed. It is working in the background, even if you're not aware of it. That's why some people feel calm only when things are organized. Because order reduces mental effort. Less scanning, less processing, less hidden stress. So cleaning is not just physical work. It's mental relief. But here's where it gets interesting. Not everyone feels this equally. For some people, mess doesn't just look bad. It feels personal. Some individuals experience clutter on a deeper level. Not as visual disorder, but as emotional tension. Because their brain links external environment with internal safety. So when things are messy, it triggers a subtle stress response. Not panic, but discomfort, like something is unresolved. This often comes from early experiences, where control was unpredictable. So the brain learned a pattern. If my environment is stable, I am safe. That's why cleaning becomes automatic for some people. Not because they enjoy it, but because it restores a sense of internal balance. But here's the twist. Sometimes cleaning is not about comfort at all. It's about control. And control has a deeper psychology than most people realize. Life is unpredictable. People are unpredictable. Emotions are unpredictable. But your environment? That is something you can control. So for many people, cleaning becomes a psychological anchor. A way to create certainty in an uncertain world. When everything feels unstable, organizing a drawer or cleaning a room becomes a form of emotional grounding, because it creates immediate, visible control. Unlike thoughts, unlike emotions, the environment responds instantly. But here's something deeper. Not all clean people are the same. It becomes identity itself. Over time, your environment starts reflecting your identity. A clean space begins to feel like self-respect. And a messy space starts to feel like self-neglect. So people begin maintaining order, not just for comfort, but for self-image. Because how your space looks starts to feel like how you are. This creates a powerful loop. Clean space, better self-perception, motivation to maintain it. But here's where psychology takes a darker turn. Because what starts as health can sometimes become automatic. For some people, cleaning becomes emotional regulation. Anxiety clean. Overthinking clean. The behavior becomes a cycle. Not harmful at first, but repetitive. Because the brain learns cleaning equals relief. So instead of processing emotions, it redirects them into action. The problem is, relief doesn't last. So the cycle repeats. Again and again. But here's the most important realization. Cleaning was never the real issue. It was never just about space. It was about the mind behind it. When you step back and look at everything we've covered, a pattern starts to appear. People who keep their house clean are not all the same, but they are all responding to something inside them. For some people, cleanliness is control, a way to create structure when life feels unpredictable. For others, it's emotional regulation, a way to calm the mind when thoughts become too loud. For others, it's identity, a reflection of who they believe they are supposed to be. And for some, it's something even deeper than that. It's safety, because the human brain is always trying to find stability. And when internal stability feels uncertain, it builds external stability instead. A clean room becomes predictable. A clean space becomes manageable. A clean environment becomes something the mind can trust. But here's what most people never realize. This doesn't make clean people better. And it doesn't make messy people worse. It just shows something very human. Everyone is trying to regulate their internal world in different ways. Some people do it through structure, some through chaos, some through order, and some through letting go completely. Because at the core of it all, your environment is not just a space you live in. It's a system your brain uses to stay balanced. And that's why even small changes in your surroundings can shift your emotional state without you noticing. But here's the final psychological truth. A clean space does not guarantee a calm mind. And a messy space does not mean a chaotic mind. Because the real difference is not what's outside. It's how much pressure your mind is carrying inside. And when you finally understand that, something changes. You stop labeling people as clean or messy. And you start seeing behavior as communication. Your brain is always trying to tell you something. Sometimes through thoughts. Sometimes through emotions. And sometimes through the environment you create around you. So maybe the question was never, why do people keep their house clean? Maybe the real question is, what is their mind trying to stabilize? And once you understand that, you don't just see cleaning differently. You start seeing yourself differently too. Because at the end of the day, everyone is trying to feel the same thing. Control. And a sense that life is not overwhelming them. And the ways we try to reach that feeling are what make us human. So maybe cleanliness was never the personality. It was just the strategy. And once you understand that, you stop judging spaces and start understanding minds.